questions for your free consultation.
Call on me, your MVP.
This is a rather bold pronouncement, but we think we can back it up. If you come across a radio frequency anywhere putting more variety and more diversity on the air than KBLA Talk 1580, we sure would like to hear about your discovery.
You got to have vision.
You can search, but we are confident that you won't find more shows covering more topics, hosted by a more diverse and inclusive lineup of talkers than the squad we have assembled here at KBLA Talk 1580.
This is the time, brothers. This is the time.
We've got something for everybody.
That's right.
Health and healing, history and humor, issues and events, empowerment and entertainment, all in one station.
What's really going on?
Free enterprise, you dig?
KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes.
Oh yeah. We got a lot to talk about.
King Kong ain't got on me.
Well, alright.
Oh, what?
Yeah. You know, ever since I turned pro in 1989, when I signed the dotted line, it was strange. Those things changed for the better and for the worse. So I called my mama and she said, baby,
Must be the money.
I didn't know this is what this was until he started singing.
it's got to be 'cause
It's not a heater, but it's not bad. He was on Hammer's label when he put this song out. Must be the money, Deion Sanders, Danny Morrison, let's go, come on.
Diamond relax with gators on my feet. I got some pepper every day of the week. My hair is done, my fingernails too. $6 down and I don't know what to do. Pay the money,
Must be the money.
it's turning them on. Pay the money,
Must be the money.
you know I can't go wrong. Pay the money,
Must be the money.
that keeps me looking cold. Pay the money,
Must be the money.
got me rolling on the straw.
You were checking out the Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580, and Andy is right. He just mentioned how it was number one on the box when it came out. Y'all remember the video jukebox that was on TV for a while? And everybody was requesting that song. Have y'all seen that video, by the way?
Oh, it's phenomenal.
He's
I've
dressed
not
just
seen
like MC Hammer in that thing. He's got the, the little, what do you call it, the pork pie hat? What do you call those hats? What do you call those hats?
Oh, right.
It's not a top hat. It's rounded on top. What do you call them types of hats? Not a fedora. The ones Hammer used to wear all the time.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it right
You're a fashion guru. You don't know. I'm sorry,
now. Okay, thank you. You're welcome.
but it's a fun video, but a mediocre song. 1 to 10, where you put that thing?
Well, the hook obviously gets you pumped up. The rest of the song is just whatever.
Yeah.
But it's a nice little jam.
Would you dance to it if it came on? As you at a wedding, it's like.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna dance to anything that gets me hyped though.
I'm totally with you.
It's top 10 songs from athletes.
Oh, you come on now. You gonna break out another verses right now? Careful. Cause listen. What's the best song ever by? You're probably gonna go
athlete?
Shaq.
Biological them boy.
It's probably gonna be. You can fuck me from the boy too, man. Come on, always on a father, cause my biological wouldn't. Shaq shush right now. Back off the
Fez?
microphone.
Oh, is Marcus Atkins says Fez? What is that in regards to? That's not the hat.
A Fez hat? It might be.
Maybe.
I don't know. Somebody hit us up and let us know. Marcus Atkins, man, back away from the drink. What is a Fez? What are you talking about, man?
he might be correct.
He might be right. I don't know. But it is time for our daily Black Twitter domination conversation. Speaking of Deion Sanders, the moment within the show where we exchange dialogue on what is or was dominating Black Twitter over the last 24 hours. You want to join the discussion? You know how we put it down for the town. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. You can also tap in on the KBLA hotlines, on the KBLA socials, just like my man Marcus is, and within the live YouTube feed, which is populating as we speak in real time. In the meantime and in between time, make sure you like, share, comment. Also, jump in our socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube too. And tell your friends and family to do the same. That is KBLA 1580. Also, remember to download the KBLA app to gain even more access. What are we laughing at? What are we looking at?
We're looking at the Fez hat.
Not that! You come on, man!
Let me see.
Somebody pull up Deion Sanders' video, Must Be the Money, and see what I'm talking about. Hannah used to wear them all the time. You know who would know? That cat right there. Ilya Daly would know for sure. Ilya, real quick, get up in there. Real quick. We are live on the air, don't cuss. What do you call that hat? What do you call that hat that Deion Sanders had on? And Hammer used to wear them all the time. It's like a top hat, but it's rounded on top.
The sniper?
Somebody look up sniper hat.
That's what Danny got on, a sniper.
That's not a sniper hat.
No, it's not one of these.
That's an old black man playing chess in the park hat right there. I don't know what that is.
Checkmate.
You don't know?
I stay dealing with fly stuff.
Okay, get out of here. Man. Download the KBLA app to gain even more access to us. iOS or Android, it don't matter. Okay? Let's get it started. Our first story is an extension of another story that dominated the black zeitgeist a couple months ago. As many of you already know, primetime Deion Sanders took up shop at HBCU Jackson State and turned a struggling program into a winning program almost instantaneously in a minuscule 2.5 seasons. But after finding immediate success in a job that Deion claimed to be a mission that God called him to do, Deion would do the unthinkable and make an announcement that caught the HBCU community and the black community nationwide off guard. Here's a refresher on what went down because CNN and Bomani Jones were on the case. Listen.
So Sanders is now being criticized as a so-called sellout for leaving Jackson after many envisioned him altering the landscape of sports at historically black colleges and universities. He did land top recruits. He went 27-5 in 3 seasons and just won the school's second Southwestern Athletic Conference title in 2 years. Sanders will now try to replicate that success in a more competitive league with a Colorado team that just went 1-11. So joining us now, the perfect person to talk about that, Bomani Jones, a third-generation HBCU graduate who went to Clark Atlanta University. He's also the host of Game Theory with Bomani Jones, which will kick off its second season on HBO and HBO Max in January. Wow, that is a giant lead-in to you. You have lots of accomplishments. Thank you this morning. So, you know, this is... I kind of feel like we're talking about family business, like in front of everybody. You know what I'm talking about? Because there's a long tradition in the African American community about HBCUs and whether you go, whether you're not, and this. Why can't Deion Sanders just choose to be with who he wants to be?
Oh, he can go take whatever job he wants, but when you come into the first job and sell the idea that you are going to be the savior of HBCUs and you are going to raise the playing field, not just for Jackson State, but for everybody else, and you're going to do it because God told you to do it.
He said that.
Yeah, he said that. He explicitly said that God sent him to do this. So then when you leave, yeah, people are going to ask questions about what exactly it was. Now, I don't go into the sellout place necessarily, but I do think, he's the monorail salesman from The Simpsons. He went in, he sold the big dream. Now, if you paid any attention, you knew the dream he was selling wasn't possible. It was not an achievable one that he had, but he sold it and he got people to believe it, and then he chucked the deuce and left.
The absolutely brilliant Bomani Jones. We will continue this on the other side when we come forward. What's the name of that hat?
They are absolutely right, meaning Marcus and Fahima. It is a fez hat.
Is it really?
It is a fez hat.
I've never heard that term before. You, Mr. Fashion, too. Both of y'all are fashion guru. Y'all didn't know that? I've never heard it called a fez hat.
Yeah.
I don't know how popular it is today, but you talking about the hat that Deion wearing must be the money, right?
Yeah. That is, keep in mind, that was, what year was
Now,
that?
there are different kinds of fez hats. They're different styles, but that is what it's called.
Fez hat.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Jerry's on the phone. No? I bet Jerry got one on right now. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. We continue the conversation about the HBCUs, Deion and Ed Reed Stadium.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
This is Danny Morrison from the Danny Morrison Show. Time for a conversation that I feel that we should be having more as a community. Is Sona Agarwal. She's a medical officer with the California Department of Public Health. As we approach the holidays and people are gathering more, I'm a little bit nervous hanging around with friends and family with the surge taking place. So what do you think we should do?
I'm also nervous, and I also want to see my friends and family. So the best thing that you and I and everyone else can do is to protect ourselves and our loved ones by doing a few really simple things. The first one is to stay home when you're sick, wear a mask when you're able to, or when you're in large crowds, or when you're feeling particularly nervous, and wash your hands a lot. These common sense prevention methods are the best way to prevent the spread of germs. We actually have a hotline, 833-422-4255, or you can go to the website, covid19.ca.gov/treatment, and that's COVID-19 with the number 19.
Thank you so much in your efforts to keep us COVID-free all throughout the holidays. Have a blessed one, okay?
Thank you.
Every pro is an MVP to us. As a Lowe's MVP's Rewards member, you can earn bonus points when you shop select products and brands. Then redeem them for exciting rewards like tools, sports memorabilia, e-gift cards, and more. Join today to become a member and start earning. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Subject to program terms. While supplies last. Points expire at end of calendar year. Visit Lowe's.com/MVP's bonus points for details.
Streaming only on Peacock. From the mind of Ryan Johnson, the writer-director of Knives Out.
Miss Gale, you've got this gift. Always known the truth.
I only know if something is a lie. The real trick of it is to figure out why.
Natasha Lyonne is Charlie Cale.
It wasn't an accident. I think there's been a murder.
You watch too much Dateline.
A new 10-part mystery series.
Wolves on my fender. I gotta keep moving. I have been kind of a death magnet.
Poker Face, streaming January 26th, only on Peacock.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stop the violence. Increase the Peace Foundation is a non-profit community-based organization dedicated to fostering peace while mitigating violence in our society. Established in 1993, Stop the Violence, Increase the Peace has provided a wide variety of assistance to thousands of youth, families, and victims of violence over the past 3 decades, including intervention services, conflict and dispute resolution training, grief counseling, and victims advocacy. In addition, the foundation offers an array of classes focused on anger management, domestic violence, parenting, substance abuse, and more. To make a donation or to access services, call 323-445-8620. That's 323-445-8620 or visit www.increasethepeacefoundation.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
Let's go to Jerry real fast. Just bring him up in here. Come on, Andy. Jerry, give me your height, your color, and your hood. Come on.
6'3", Beverly Hills, Caucasian.
Beverly Hills checking in. Drop that. Come on, let's go.
Since I met you, baby, by black singer Ivory Joe Hunter was featured in the film Big Town. Did it get any awards? Could you play a few bars of it right now, please?
Okay, say it one more time. What's the artist's name again?
Since I Met You, Baby.
Since I Met You, Baby.
By black singer Ivory Joe Hunter was featured in Big Town, the film Big Town.
Who is that yelling in the background? You mentioned black singer or something, and then somebody started yelling in the background.
Yeah,
where you at? You at the
singer.
Trump headquarters right now? Where you at?
Ivy Joe Hunter.
Ivy Joe Hunter? Is that the name?
Yeah, he's a black singer-songwriter. He did Since I Met You, Baby, featured in the film Big Town.
Is it on the soundtrack?
Bars? Huh?
Is it on the soundtrack?
Yeah, it's at the end of the movie. They play it was also a big hit in 1955.
All right, we might just
I'm on
play
the
it.
radio.
We might see. I don't know who that is. Jerry, I gotta let you go because somebody's being vulgar in the background. I'll talk to you later. Okay?
All right.
All right then. We will play that song right around the month of Neverwary.
Oh, don't do Jerry like that. Don't do Jerry like that.
We love Jerry. But Bomani wasn't the only one criticizing Deion for his decision to bolt on HBCU after giving us excuses that were clearly see-through. Because Dr. Umar Johnson, Robin's favorite person, was on the Breakfast Club immediately thereafter and was also on this case. Listen.
The reason I'm so personally disappointed in Deion is I thought he was there for a movement, not for money. Meaning, Deion Sanders, the coach of Jackson State, I foresaw a situation where Deion would hire other coaches, other retired black NFL greats to coach other HBCUs. In doing so, you attract our top tier high school athletes to come to HBCU.
Maybe.
Stay with me.
Eddie George is at Tennessee State.
Stay with me. Football and you know like I know, if you got top tier NFL greats coaching HBCUs, the athletes are coming just like they was coming for Deion. He showed you, Charlamagne.
Deion, though.
He showed
Dr.
you.
Umar.
And his other one's
Deion's
just as
one
great.
of the most famous people ever.
And his other one's just as great. So listen.
Eddie George at Tennessee State.
That's one person. We talking about a system, not an individual. So Deion and these other coaches bring all these athletes from high school to play football, basketball, so forth. The revenue of the HBCU goes up, Envy. As a result of the revenue going up, Charlemagne, the schools got more money. They don't have to subject themselves to closure. They don't have to subject themselves to being dependent on white money. You got HBCUs at risk of being closed. I read something that said almost a half of them, may not survive the decade. So this was bigger than football. This was about the survival of the HBCU.
It's bigger than Deion,
especially.
though, Dr. Umar.
That is a great interview if you haven't watched it. But you heard Charlemagne referencing Eddie George over at Tennessee State. Fact, been there since 2021. But there was another NFL great that was working to throw his hat into the HBCU coaching ring as well. Baltimore Ravens safety and Pro Football Hall of Famer Ed Reed, a phenomenal former player, by the way. Phenomenal. Saw an opportunity to do the same thing Coach Prime did over at Jackson State. That school on the east coast of Central Florida that happens to sit in the same Southwestern Athletic Conference figured they could duplicate what Deion brought to the table with a man that possesses similar personality traits as Prime time. Coming off a 2-9 season, Ed Reed was the perfect specimen for them to achieve the same dreams as their conference counterparts. Instead, they would cut bait before the party could even get started by not even ratifying his contract, and Ed Reed wasn't happy. As a matter of fact, he was angry, furious, and Ed Reed took it to social media to air out his thoughts with an emotional tirade right in front of his players and the world. Listen.
Yeah, I curse. And y'all done heard curse words before. They got parents in here. You know I don't want to leave. And like I told you, I want all these recruits. But they got some corrupt people in this world, some evil people that don't care about kids like I do. So I want y'all to hear the truth from me. I ain't withdrawing my name. I got the receipts. They got all kinds of stuff going on around here. Hoarding these buildings with nothing but trash in them. You understand me? And Dion was right. And I know I'm right. And they got some people in here who be snitching to their ass. And I work amongst Judas as Jesus walked with him. And I ain't have a problem with it. Because even Jesus prevailed. Sir. And what God got for you, no man can take.
Can I just say, when you start bringing Jesus into the conversation to make a correlation to your own personal situation, you out of pocket. Every single time. And considering he summoned the name of one Deion Sanders in his now viral outburst, Deion took it upon himself to jump into Ed Reed's Instagram Live to intercept the energy, ironically, in an effort to calm Ed down and do what we brothers should always do. The same thing Denzel and Samuel L. Jackson did for Will Smith at last year's Oscars after the slap heard around the world. The same thing Tyrese, Genuine, Case, and Oreo were referring to in that fire song from 1999, The Best Man I Could Be from the Best Man soundtrack. Be that balance we brothers need during our mental meltdowns and times of crisis. Listen.
What's up, big bro?
Hey, I love you, man. You know that, right?
Yep.
We talked about this. We talked about this. We know the structure. We know the order. We know how it was going to play out. And you've been there fighting. I know what you're feeling. I know what you're going through. You got to understand, Ed, God has a time and a place for you, my brother. And I know your heart. I know everything that's going on inside of you. You know, I know you like a book. And I know how you feel about them kids, and I know you do not want to leave those kids. So I'm praying for you right now, man, because this is going to be the toughest thing you ever had to do in your life. Sometimes, Ed, you got to walk away, my brother. I know it's tough. I know you don't want to hear it. But sometimes in life, we got to walk away.
You already know, big bro. I
You didn't let nobody down, Ed. You didn't let them kids down. You did what you was called to do, and you tried your best.
Thank you, big brother.
I love you, man. I'm here. I will be on the next flight if you need me. You know that.
Nah, you good. You handle your business. You know that. I'll give you a call.
Please. Hey, you know what God wants from you, man, and be that. Don't let them provoke you, my brother. I love you, man.
Bro.
All right.
Absolutely beautiful and perfect. My take, I was wrong. Upon further review, Deion had to do what needed to be done and depart from Jackson State for greener pastures. If you're an avid listener of this show, the Danny Mo Show, you heard me berate prime time over a 2-day span. But after doing additional research and reading firsthand accounts of some of the poor administrative decisions and empty coffers of some of our finest and most historic HBCUs, I cannot blame Deion for chasing the bag when there obviously wasn't a mechanism in place for him to achieve long-term success. So tell me what you both think. Give me your thoughts on the Ed Reed tirade first. I'll start with you, Miss Robin. And is it fair to say that HBCUs may not be quite ready for prime time, ironically?
That's a good question. Or is it possible that Reed isn't ready for a school such as Bethune-Cookman? Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to go in here and act like I know every single bit of this case. I don't know much about Reed and his background. Obviously, I know he's a Hall of Famer, incredible background as a player, but no experience as a coach, as a head coach, which is a completely different ball game. And I understand that the president of BCU, Dr. Drake, that was one of the prerequisites. He was like, okay, listen, we'll bring you in, but we're going to surround you with some good people who are going to help you, pretty much do the best job that you can as a head coach and all of that stuff. But it was three things that we heard from a video that he said, I'm going to list down these three things. Already, one of the first ones, Daniel, one of the first things that he said was basically conduct yourself well. This is a Christian private school. Conduct yourself with the best behavior around these students. Can you do that? And Reed said, yeah, I can make that happen. Well, you already violated. Number one, you hadn't even signed the contract yet, but you violated by the behavior that you had shown. You got comfortable before you had a chance to really even show what you were about. He had not one chance to even show what you were about. Now, I believe his heart is in the right place. But the personalities of said university in Reed, I don't feel like could he have toned it down? Sure. I just don't feel like off the top that he was ready for that moment. You can tell even in his videos since they had let him go that he outbursts when it's not his time to talk. I mean, he's just maybe good personality for the students and to be a coach, but you're dealing with the university, you're dealing with a private university. I think it's just a different kind of story. Let me touch on super fast before I give back the mic. Fahima in here says Mr. Sanders is no sellout, just disobedient to God, and I'm gonna have to push back on that comment because
I'm never gonna talk about nobody's faith.
I can never say what God told someone in their own private time. Yeah, he may have said something out loud that God called him to Jackson State. He may have said, this is the place for me. This is the timing and all of that good stuff. He gave 2-3 years, two solid years of his time, his resources, his efforts to those kids. He came through on some of the promises that he made to those kids. Even afterwards have come through with some of the promises to those kids. However, I'm going to never get involved in that conversation between God and one individual. So I can't say that he's disobedient there.
Very well said. And you might have some scoop for us, huh, Mr. Daniel Griffin? You got some behind the scenes that we don't know about.
Well, the athletic director at Bethune-Cookman is a personal friend of mine. He actually hired me to be the assistant coach at Cal State Northridge, Reggie Theus. And all of our, all the basketball heads out here in L.A., we look up to Coach and we love him. And we embrace him during his time and what he's going through. But, obviously it's a lot of mistakes that were made here with the vetting process on both sides. And, just because it's an opportunity doesn't mean you take it. Okay? All money ain't good money.
Right.
All opportunities are not great opportunities.
This couldn't have been a financial thing, though.
No, he didn't need the money. He was in
the league 10 years.
Well, he was making money at University of Miami. He was on the football staff, and he has a foundation. I mean, Every's pretty well off.
Yeah.
On from what we hear and see. So I think what we're witnessing here is the fragility of Bethune-Cookman and many other HBCUs that's literally falling apart in front of us.
That is so funny that you and Robin are opposed to one another, diametrically opposed to one another. Because she's saying he may not be ready, and you're saying the HBCUs may not be ready.
It's a little bit of both.
Couldn't both be true.
Yeah, and I think the issue here is he may not have been as polished in his delivery.
He's definitely not.
And his decision making and what to say when to say it is obviously in question. But it seemed like he shook the right tree. Because now the nation is watching, and I think we need to open up the books. And they're about to have a town hall meeting there, and this other school is going to do the same thing.
Hold that thought. I want to jump into that. Oh, wow. Are they going to open up the books? Is that where we're going?
Oh, you're going to have to. There's going to be some auditing going on nationwide at HBCUs.
Was there trash in some of the classrooms or some of the buildings he was talking
about? The kids are tripping, yeah.
1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. We continue the discussion on the HBCUs and Bethune-Cookman and Jackson State and Deion Sanders and Ed Reed and the whole nine in the nighttime. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA. Stay there.
Nighttime is the right time for Danny Morrison on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. President Biden is renewing his call for an assault weapons ban. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre noted California Senator Dianne Feinstein reintroduced a federal assault weapons ban and legislation to raise the minimum purchase age for assault weapons to 21. All of the victims in Saturday's mass shooting in Southern California have been identified. The list released by the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office shows the victims ranged in age from late 50s to mid-70s. The youngest of the 11 killed was a 57-year-old woman, while the oldest was a 76-year-old man. There are reports of damage following a tornado in southeast Texas this afternoon. The National Weather Service says the tornado touched down near Pasadena and traveled northeast at about 60 miles per hour. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Island from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
A crash continues in downtown LA, the 10 westbound before Santa Fe. It's in the center divider. Traffic is stopped from the 5-101 split. You've got trouble if you're making your way through Laverne on the 210 eastbound at Fruit Street. A stalled big rig taking up the right lane. Your stop and go from the 57 freeway. Now in Pacoima, the 5 northbound before the 118 is stalled off to the shoulder. You're slow from Tuxford. Stalled cleared in Orange, the 5 northbound before the 22. You're slow from the 133.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I sell custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters that are easy to install at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are custom-made for your windows, and I guarantee they'll fit. Don't hire a pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
When the Lakers and Clippers tip off tonight at Crypto.com, Clippers fans will see a new point guard running the offense. Clippers coach Tyronn Lue experimented with Paul George at the point in their previous 2 games at San Antonio and Dallas. Lue plans to keep the 6'7" George in the playmaking role. George averaged 18.5 points and 8 assists in the Clippers' wins over the Spurs and Mavericks. Top 5 women's college basketball teams in this week's AP poll: South Carolina, Ohio State, Stanford, LSU, and UConn. UCLA is 8th. The early odds are in on Sunday's NFC and AFC championship games. Philadelphia is a 2.5-point favorite over the 49ers. Cincinnati has the same odds over Kansas City. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. Stay with us for more news, opinions, and conversation on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
If you're the victim of a car accident, call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys. When it comes to getting the maximum compensation you deserve, our team hits it out of the park. Call 833-MVP-WINS for a free case review.
Call on me, your MVP.
This is a rather bold pronouncement, but we think we can back it up. If you come across a radio frequency anywhere putting more variety and more diversity on the air than KBLA Talk 1580, we sure would like to hear about your discovery. You got to have vision. You can search, but we are confident that you won't find more shows covering more topics, hosted by a more diverse and inclusive lineup of talkers than the squad we have assembled here at KBLA Talk 1580.
This is the time, brothers. This is the time.
We've got something for everybody.
That's right.
Health and healing, history and humor, issues and events, empowerment and entertainment, all in one station.
What's really going on? Free enterprise, you dig?
KBLA Talk 1580. Yes. Oh, yeah. We got a lot to talk about.
King Kong ain't got on me.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
Are you looking to steer your career in a new direction? Driving for Culver City Bus can be your ticket to a long-lasting career with excellent benefits and paid training. Looking for customer service and safety-minded bus operators to join the growing Culver City Bus team, offering on-the-job training starting at $19.10 per hour, uniform allowance, and health benefits. Culver City Bus, a great employer. Let us connect you with an essential service job. If you enjoy driving, seek real opportunities for a career change, and are passionate about making a difference in the community, we invite you to join the team. Start your journey by submitting an application at culvercity.org/jobs. For more information, visit culvercitybus.com or call 310-253-6500. Again, 310-253-6500.
At Cedars-Sinai, we're honored to be named the #1 hospital in California and the #2 hospital in the nation in U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals Honor Roll. We're also proud to be named #1 in 6 specialties in Los Angeles. Thank you to our physicians, nurses, academic leaders, and thousands of other team members who bring their best to Cedars-Sinai every day. Learn more about our top-ranked care at cedars-sinai.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, reminding you when we fight, we win. Asian Americans Advancing Justice is the nation's largest legal and civil rights organization for Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders. Founded in 1983 as the Asian Pacific American Legal Center, Advancing Justice LA serves more than 15,000 individuals and organizations every year. Their mission is to advocate for civil rights, provide legal services and education, and build coalitions to positively influence and impact Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders, and to create a more equitable and harmonious society. To volunteer, make a donation, or seek assistance, visit advancingjustice-la.org. That's advancingjustice-la.org. Or call 888-349-9695. 888-349-9695. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Now back to more of the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey man, Andy, man.
Oh, wow.
Come on.
Brothers in the hood.
Come on.
In the high rises. On the mansions with the maids.
Come on.
We gotta come together, y'all. Come on.
First, watch this first.
Standing here alone.
Oh my God.
Trying to face another day. Gotta stay strong. To endure this pain I'm dealing with right now. It flipped my whole life upside down. I don't want your help. I don't. What can a brother do for me? Say he can help you up when you are down. What can a brother do for me?
This is the music we need to come back.
Be you rise when you can't see. What can a brother do for me? He can help me be the best man I can. I can be.
Okay, you gotta let that ride a little bit. Because watch Tyrese. When Tyrese comes into this track right now, watch, listen.
I made a big mistake.
Oh, come on, Tyrese!
And I'm feeling so ashamed.
show. KBLA, talk to me today. Robin.
Woo!
Robin.
No, that song is next level. But Tyrese came on.
Ooh.
Literally, the tone in the texture
it gives me
of
chills
his
when he
voice is crazy.
I made a big mistake.
Oh, man.
my God.
Yeah, that's the jam.
God.
You remember that was in one of my verses. Was it in one of yours too?
It may have been.
Yeah.
It may that. Oh my God.
Man.
Daniel, you don't know about that. Oh my God, no!
Hey, listen, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. When you know better, you do better.
Okay.
And I'm not knocking it. I just got so much on my playlist that's unbelievable. That's just quality that I can't get to that.
Okay,
because I'm stuck on something else.
But you've heard the song.
Oh yeah, I've heard it. Yeah. It's nice. It's nice.
Okay, it ain't nice. It's perfect.
It's nice.
It's confectionery. It's confectionery perfection. It's the 90s on.
He said it's nice. It's nice.
It's a nice collab.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I don't appreciate. It's underwhelming, Daniel. Your reaction is underwhelming.
You cannot do that.
No, that song is beyond, okay?
I have to change my underwear right now.
Yeah, man, that's tough.
That is not okay.
Don't you leave me out here by myself.
You are by yourself. That is not okay.
What's wrong? When I'm doing collabs, I'm going to do Milestone, I Care For You, with Jodeci, Babyface, and After 7.
Fire.
That's what I'm saying. So I can't get to that, man. I'm dealing with all this other stuff, man. I'm stuck on O'Brien and I'm Marvin. I'm on some different stuff.
Oh man.
You know what's funny about him? He's acting like we're not playing other music. Like
no,
I
know.
We can appreciate this song. That is amazing.
No, it's
and also
nice.
go to our old catalog too.
I know. It's nice.
You think we just sit up and play Best Man I Could Be all the time or what?
No.
I would. Let's go to the phones real quick. Let's go to Q. Q, give us your height, your color, and your hood, Q.
Brother, 5'10", West LA, Violet Black.
West LA checking in. Drop that. Come on. Yeah. Q, Violet Black.
Violet Black.
That black. I love it. He gets in a hot tub, it turns to tea. Okay, that brother is.
No.
That's a dark brother.
That is undisputable. That is undisputable. Black.
What's on your mind today, Q?
Brother, two things. I'm just going to comment on Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
I think that brother craftily used Jackson State to really curve a path for himself.
That's what they're saying.
I do not think that the brother was truly sincere about helping the HSBCU college. He was pretty much building up his own empire, and he found a path, and the path was that, okay, I'm going to use this school, and he did what he can do, which he became successful in doing it.
Okay, Robin and Daniel, this is the argument. This is where everybody is. Did Deion, knowing proactively that he was never going to stay at that school, use them to get to the next level? Or did he get there with full, I'm understanding, I'm going to make this thing work. But when he got there, it wasn't what he thought it was going to be, and said, I can't stay, I'm going to take the bag. Which is it?
Man, how does opportunity turn you into an opportunist? This is funny.
But
man,
like Umar said, and I hate to be compared to Umar, please don't do that. Robin, don't do that to me.
I'm going to do it again.
Okay. He's basically saying he lied to everybody.
Man, he did what he had to do.
But did he go in with the intent to say, I'm going to ride this program because I'm going to get to D1?
Well, we know that if he does well, he knew people were coming for you. If you do a good job in any platform, somebody's coming for you. But so all African-American people in the United States, all you people that's working out there, the jobs that you have, if you get another opportunity, stay there. Because if you don't, you're selling yourself out.
No,
is that what we do?
Umar even said, I hate to quote him again, but Umar said, if you go in there and say, look, I love this program, we're going to build this thing, but if another job opportunity comes, I'm bouncing. He didn't say that. He said, we going to do this. We going to change the culture.
Why does he have to? And didn't he do that
while
he was there?
In a short period of time.
The problem that I'm having here, and I hear the point, I think that we're looking at that as a negative thing. The opportunity that comes along, if he takes it, it's a negative thing. Where I feel like he did both. It's not like he came in there, stayed for a half a season. Somebody else. I mean, I don't think you could do that anyway. But I'm just saying, point being, like, he just moved on that quickly just because another opportunity came. And if it was about what he said it was about, he did everything. He gave his salary back. He was out there really trying to help these guys. So I think his heart was really, really in it. And again, no person, not one person can look in can sit there and say, just because you chose to let us in on a portion of your conversation with God, he's not entitled to tell us every single move of what God has told him, that it was time to move on, when another opportunity came up. We don't know that, and he's not entitled to tell us that. So what happens is, when we have a lack of information, then we start making up our own, right? We start coming up with our own narrative, and that seems to be what's going on in Black Twitter, Dr. Umar, and whomever else. We're making up our own narrative just because we don't understand what that conversation was with Dion and God.
Fire. Q, where you at? Come on, go ahead.
Yes, but my queen, if God told...
that means he about to get you.
If God told him to come to the school... Now, did God tell him to leave the school? He told us that God told him to come to the school.
That's
now,
my
don't
point.
Forget that. That's it. So the thing is that it's an opportunist. Now, where is the sacrifice? This is a problem that we have among our people. We are all looking at what we're going to get from each other. Where is the Muhammad Ali? Where is the Kaepernick? Where are the others? Paul Robeson? And on and on, who sacrificed themselves for us. Why can he do? Dion is not starving for money. He wasn't. He made a lot of money when he was playing. He wasn't poor.
And let me piggyback on Q too. Here's where it also matters. If I'm a recruit and I'm looking and D1 schools are looking at me, and Dion comes to me and goes, "We're gonna turn this into a blazing program," and you go with him at an HBCU, and then he bounces 2 years in, that's unfair to that kid. You told him we were about to do this, and then bounce 2 years in. So now I got to transfer.
But that's part of sports too.
It shouldn't be when in this situation. If you're gonna change the culture, it's a culture shift. You stay in the.
But we don't get mad at the coaches of other backgrounds and racial backgrounds when they make decisions and change schools. They just roll with it. We don't bring up this stuff.
We ain't doing no whataboutism.
That's not cool.
This is about us.
No, I get it. But we got to compare ourselves to others. I get it.
You guys, all of you. Let me just say this. Let me say this. You guys are negating everything that he did because he left. It sounds that way. You negate everything that this man did, all the promises that he actually did keep to those kids. You're negating that by saying he's wrong for leaving, and then trying to call him out. Because let me tell you something. Let me just make this a quick correlation. If you go to a church and you feel like I'm gonna sign up at this church because God called me here, you go there, you attend for however much, however long, that's up to you and God, right? When you no longer feel fed. It may be God telling you it's time to move on, or you might be like, Lord, I don't feel fed anymore. Can I move on? And God says, I release you. Either one could be true.
True.
And then we are not obligated to talk to the only people we're obligated really to talk to are the pastors, right?
True.
Not anybody else for that matter. We don't stand up and make an announcement like, you guys, listen, church family, God has called me to leave this church or whatever. And it sounds like that's what you guys are trying to pin him to.
Q, answer on the other side. Hold on, okay?
Yes.
1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. The spirited conversation continues on the other side. Danny Mo Show, KBLA. Stay there.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
The late R&B singer Aaliyah trends on what would have been her 44th birthday earlier this month. Gone too soon. August 25th, 2001, the world was shocked to learn that Aaliyah passed away at the age of 22 in an airplane accident in the Bahamas, killing all 9 passengers on board. Now, in 2023, Black Twitter and others on the internet reflected in remembrance of the songstress, playing clips of her music, posting quotes in remembrance of Aaliyah, and simple birthday wishes. You may remember here on KBLA 1580 when Dame Dash, who was her boyfriend at the time of her death, said said this.
There hasn't been one single day that's gone by that I haven't either heard her name, seen her face, heard her music, or had someone ask me a question about her. Not one day. Not one day have I not thought about Aaliyah. I come from a circumstance that this is the life that I chose, so I don't really sit around and be like so depressed. It's not that difficult for me. You have to man up.
We miss you, Aaliyah. Gone too soon. Maisha Cairo here. That's your K-Black Minute News.
Central Neighborhood Health Foundation is a full-service network of federally qualified health care centers that serves local communities throughout Los Angeles, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties. CNHF clinics provide low-cost to no-cost, compassionate, comprehensive, quality health care, which includes primary care services for chronic disease and diabetes management, pediatric and women's services, preventive care, vision and dental screenings, COVID-19 testing and vaccines, flu vaccines, behavioral health, HIV, and substance use services. Virtual telehealth visits are available from the comfort of your home with highly qualified physicians and medical professionals. CNHF also provides peer support specialist training and help with housing navigation. Central Neighborhood Health Foundation. Your wellness is our priority. Comprehensive care built on trust and respect. For more information, visit cnhfclinics.org or call 213-536-5815 today to locate a clinic near you.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, reminding you, when we fight, we win. Central CSO organizes for the rights of the undocumented, quality public education, and supporting in solidarity other communities seeking social justice. Central CSO stands for Chicano X, self-determination, defending public education, and fighting for all oppressed people in Boyle Heights and East Los Angeles. Find Central CSO meetings every third Wednesday. Visit online at centralcso.wordpress.com or on Instagram at Central CS. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, Maisha Cairo here, KBLA, live at Chase Bank on Crenshaw and Vernon for the In This Together tour with female business owners, a day of empowerment, community panels, and best of all, tips on building business from marketing to capital. Today, I was able to speak with Ola Wadibia, VP of Women on the Move. Hi, Ola. Tell me a bit about this initiative by JP Morgan Chase, founded in 2013.
Women on the Move is a center of excellence at JP Morgan Chase and our global DEI organization, where we really focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. What's really awesome about Chase's approach is that all of our centers of excellence, and there's 7 of them, focus on different demographic groups, is that we're really focusing on what's happening internally in the firm and also what's happening out in community. So really, Women on the Move is really focused on thinking about how do we help advance women professionally and personally.
I love it. So tell me about this beautifully updated banking branch here on Crenshaw.
That was really important. A part of our racial equity commitment was to build in place for Chase. So being able to revamp this beautiful space, to be able to welcome community members. You know, today, anyone, nonprofit, organization, school can actually do events in our community center that we're sitting in here for free. Yes, people come inside, like grab a coffee, use the Wi-Fi. It's free.
Yes, Maisha Cairo in the community for KBLA with JP Morgan Chase.
You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
You are immersed within a great conversation talking about Deion Sanders, HBCUs, Ed Reed, Bethune-Cookman, Jackson State, the whole nine. Q, get him back up in here. Q, you were making a point. Go ahead.
Yeah, the point I was making is that black people, one of our catalysts that people have been used against us is when it comes to religion. You know, when anything that has the name of God innate, we easily succumb to it. And so here comes Deion saying that, oh, God spoke to me to come in here. Immediately, our gods were all down. Because God has spoken to Deion, so Deion is coming to help us. So we are spiritual people. Even though religion has replaced our spirituality, immediately what did we do? We send the energy of support to Deion to make him successful. And when he became successful, just like some other black people that their names don't even worth mentioning, when they became successful of the backs of other black people, what did they do? They took off.
Robin, is it a fair argument that
there's no difference
it's questionable to say that Deion says that God called for him to go to Jackson State to do that job? It's questionable to say God also handed him a bag of money and said,
He may have lied.
I think that's what
He
he's
may
saying.
have lied.
God is not handing you a bag of money and saying leave. Is he?
You know?
Man, God can say anything and everything. That's your test. You got to go through a test to have a testimony. We don't know what that meant.
I'm just saying, is that not a fair argument?
It's a fair argument, but I think that's the thing about our culture here in this country, that we're being over analytical. But let me tell you something. When you deal with the NBA and college basketball, most of the head coaches were ex-managers, not even players. So they came from the bottom.
Yeah.
Right? And then we knock our celebrities and people that come with a little cachet and then make them obligated and then put them as the torchbearers and put them on our back, right? If we groom our culture collectively, we will have replacements. We'll have senseis. We'll have Jedis. You know what I'm saying? We'll have Obi-Wans and Luke Skywalker. That's what we got to do. We can't just ride this man. We should be all kind of GAs around the country to take this man's place. What's going on here?
Daniel took the words out of my mouth. Because of what Q just said. Q said, where are the Muhammad Ali's? And so now we're in a position to obligate you to be like another man, to make yourself a legacy. We are pinning you to what we want you to be because that's what we feel. Deion Sanders, guess what? He is Deion Sanders. He is not Muhammad Ali. He is not Malcolm X. He is not anybody else who we try to peg him to be. And I think that part is unfair. I get the point. Listen, everybody has a valid point in saying, what could have happened if he stayed longer? What could have happened? Would it have completely turned around? Would it have motivated other HBCUs to recruit other great coaches and whatever else, right? I think we're losing so much of the context. We're losing so much by focusing on that point rather than what he had done already. Because in my opinion, and I stand on this, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. In my opinion, he did both. That's it.
Q, final word. Come on.
Well, my queen, I will have to disagree with you.
Sure.
I think what he did doesn't show a character. And that's what we are lacking, character among ourselves. We shouldn't be thinking like the white people all the time. Look nothing but all we look for is the green.
I'm not going to say that's a character flaw in Deion. I'm not going to sign off on that. I'm not saying that.
It's a character. That's all that what a person needs is a character. And unfortunately for Deion, he has not shown a character at all.
All
That's
right.
unfortunate.
Q, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for the call. I appreciate you. God bless you, okay?
Hey, brother, before you go, I want to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Why do you always defend the LGBT, the alphabet people?
I'm about God, and God is about love. I don't judge anybody because my life ain't perfect.
Yeah, but, then again, in the Bible, there's no chapter, there's nothing in the Bible that glorifies the alphabet people.
Yeah, that is between them and their God. That is not for me to decide. And I don't think any human being, for all of sin, can point at somebody else and say, you going to God, you going to hell, just because you're sinning.
We cannot take a part of the Bible and then leave the other part. When the other part has been condemned by the Bible,
I get what he's saying.
God loves us all.
What do you mean you get what he's saying?
No, I understand what he's saying, but I don't, basically he's saying you're contradicting yourself. If the Bible says these people are condemned for living this certain lifestyle, yada, 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 but what we're trying to say is, this is a progressive station, so we're not going to put one group of people in a corner and condemn them. Like, we don't create discord, we create unity here, right? But at the same time, if you have a personal view, that's what you have at home, and that's what you and your family do. But here, we want to respect and bring all things to the table and discuss it progressively and have a level of understanding with respect and love.
Two things. One, Jesus never spoke out against homosexuality. read the red words in the New Testament. He never did one time. And two, based on your Bible that you and I both read, you mean to tell me that if my wife cheats on me, I can kill her?
No.
That's biblical. That's biblical.
No, but
and if I eat the meat from an animal with a split hoof, meaning a pig, I'm going to hell too.
Well, you know,
are we going with that too?
No, but you know, some things in the Bible are stories, and then some things.
See, no. You can't cherry pick. If you're gonna say that it's factual, you got to ride with the whole
but
book.
I'm saying Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed for a reason.
I dated a girl named Gomorrah. Yeah. I think it's Gomorrah.
Gomorrah. I mean, that's a term that I don't use all the time. That's like some people don't go to Vegas. I mean, the city was full of, you know what I'm saying.
Yes, and at the end of the day,
it wasn't a destination point for prophets, right?
Let me wrap a bow on this. At the end of the day, whatever you can choose to believe, whatever it is that you believe. But what Danny is saying, and I agree with you, Danny, and I appreciate you saying that, is that it's not for any of us to judge anybody because that is their life, their journey, their relationship with God, and they deal with God however they deal with God, no matter what our thoughts are on the.
But we don't want to condemn. But we don't want to condemn passages in the Bible that clearly goes against that too.
Who's condemning?
No, I'm not saying we are, but I'm just saying we don't want to use because people use things for their own agenda.
I think that's what Q is doing.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying is we don't want to do that. Like it's there, but we're not quoting the scripture here to condemn any group out there.
Thank you. Q, say hi to Gomorrah for me. Tell Gomorrah I said what's up.
Gomorrah.
You know
Gomorrah. It's not a place we need to be.
Give Q the call of the day, by the way, real quick here. Come on, let's go. Q, I love you, man. Go ahead. When we come forward, phone lines are blazing right now. We will continue the discussion. I'm trying to get to natural woman. Speaking of LGBTQ, they're saying that it is disrespectful to the LGBTQ plus population. We're going to talk about that on the other side after we talk to Talib on the other side. 1-800-920-1580. Danny Morrison Show. KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Stay there.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Doug Davis, and here's the latest from the Black Information Network. An update is being given on the mass shooting in Northern California. It left 7 people dead and 1 critically injured in Half Moon Bay, just south of San Francisco. Meantime, the man who police say killed 11 people and wounded 9 in a shooting in the Los Angeles area over the weekend claimed his family tried to poison him. The U.S. Postal Service is honoring the late